all three lines are heading lower, fanning away from each other, indicating momentum that's lower. And the trend, we're just in a strong trend down, and there's a lot of selling going on. So like right here, it comes down and tries to test the lows again, and then comes back up, doesn't get to the entry, and even if it did, you want it to push over that little spike to give you additional confirmation. I mean, nothing's going to work 100%, so, you know, you don't want to just try to avoid every losing trade. If you have a concept that, you know, a breakout, seeming breakout, or move through support that fails with a strong move in the opposite direction, I mean, why do you not take that trade then? So the dark blue trade that we started talking about is always going to be better earlier in the trend than later in the trend. And here's exactly what I mean by a trade where you have a push through support, no follow through, and then a nice reversal to the long side. And if you waited for extra confirmation, you would have missed it. So it didn't work up here. But when the spread is further away, the 20 further away, you know, at some point the trend gets tired, and the wider and wider the 50 and the 200 get to each other, and the further away the price is from that 50 moving average, the likelihood is it's going to want to come back up and hit that 50, which it just did. There's no right answer. Also, notice that, is this the fourth reversal? Because we know that the fourth reversal tends to be really strong, depending on, it looks like it's more than the fourth reversal, really. If you go to where it started moving lower, I mean, I don't even know where to start counting at this point. The market's so messy. But like right here, that one worked. So let's just say after that, you got a possible reversal setup that are filtered out. 1, 2, you have this one, 3. Yeah, it's definitely more than 4, but the chart that's messy like this. But ultimately, the lines themselves are far enough away, and it's eventually those reversals work, and you can see it barely got through support right there. Also, here's another thing I like to look at. Notice that this setup bar is only 2 up bars from the 3 dots, but this setup bar is 3 up bars into the line. So remember, you want to try to avoid taking trades that are reaction moves. So if you've got an action move, and again, it's hard to know where it starts, but let's just say it starts here, right up into your line, which is 1/3 to 2/3, your action move. Maybe not the best place to get long, right? Yeah, there's just, when you start getting used to reading price action and charts, I like to talk to myself. So back to what Vicky was saying, when you're trying to get prepared for trading and stuff, like I have conversations with myself. I'm like, what's the market telling me? What's it trying to do? Okay, I see this. Okay, I see that. I just try to think through all these pieces of information. Just follow the rules. You don't have to think too much. But there's so many different ways to trade. But it's good to understand how the setups work, how they fit in. And back to your using the blue trade, the dark blue trade, off the 20 SMA. You don't want to trade into a reaction. You're better off trading a pullback and then a subsequent action move with the blue trade. That's not what this is. This is the light blue reversal trade. But you would have had a short right here on these dots when you get your pullback into the blue line. The only reason why you don't is because the proximity isn't meeting the criteria. So you've got your dots at 1577, so it's 6 ticks away instead of 4 ticks away. That's the only reason you don't have a short trade here. But if you really understand the concept, there's extra volatility happening, and the dots happened, they lined up higher because of that spike on this bar, right? Because the dots end up 2 ticks above the highest point of these 3 bars that are on the dots. So if you understand that, you understand why the exhaustion dots are not close enough to the line but that's still giving you a nice subsequent action move. So this is where when you really start understanding how things work with the strategy and the tools, you could turn off the setups and just grab your handy tool and draw your setup, and it's a beautiful trade all the way down. You know, that's an input thing. That's just what inputs you're using.